Week 3 of the NFL season is upon us. The Arizona Cardinals have a record of 1-1, should be 2-0, or at least should have had the chance because we got robbed. I'm not going to do what I did last season and harp on games. We're going to go forward though. Should have been PI. In week 3, the Arizona Cardinals are set to take on the Detroit Lions in a game that I think means a lot and holds a lot of value for the Cardinals especially, because this is a game that is kind of put up or shut up. No one knows what we are right now. I don't even know what we are. I think we are a really talented offensive team, but when it comes to defense, I'm not sure where we stand. Dennis Gardeck popped out for 3 sacks and we held the Rams to 10 total points, which is a phenomenal showing holding Matthew Stafford and that offense to that. They didn't have Puka Nacua or Cooper Kupp, so it is very hard to get a legitimate gauge, especially because their whole offensive line was basically dead. They didn't have a lot of talent out there. So the Cardinals are in a very weird territory where we put up a dogfight against the Buffalo Bills and then just destroyed the Rams. How's week 3 against Detroit gonna fare? This is a legitimate test for the Cardinals. And why I say this is a legitimate test is because their quarterback, Mr. QB1 Ryan Gosling himself, has a record of 8-1 versus the Arizona Cardinals in head-to-head matchups, and he lost that first game, but he has won 8 straight since. One of those was when he was in Detroit, and this was when they were really, really bad. He has 14 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, and his first 3 picks came in 3 of the 4 first games. Outside of that, he's on fire. Jared Goff or Ryan Gosling has a hatred for the Cardinals. That's just what it is. Record speaks for itself. It seems like he has our number, but last week was not pretty for him. He cracked 307 passing yards, but he had 2 interceptions with 0 touchdowns, and he ended up passing the ball 55 times against that Tampa Bay defense. Jared Goff struggled, and that is the hard, cold truth. But will this continue? I don't think so. The Cardinals defense still gives me a little worries. I still think we are in that range of bottom 20, bottom 25. I think we had a great showing against a super banged up Rams team, but we saw what Buffalo did to us and we can't let that go unnoticed. That game happened. We need to continue to build momentum. I mean, we look great. Now it's time for the real test, because the Cardinals are going to have to go up against the dynamic duo of these 2 running backs right here, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Jahmyr Gibbs had a okay showing in week 1, but a phenomenal showing in week 2 where he piled on 84 rushing yards on 13 attempts, 6.5 yards per carry. And David Montgomery didn't have the same production that he did in week 1. He still had a decent outing because he was able to get in the end zone and he had 35 rushing yards on 11 attempts, which isn't fantastic, but they have a lot of split carry going on. So we totaled 3.2, which is not great per game. This is a very scary backfield. If they get active, I'm not going to be surprised, and the Cardinals are going to have to figure out how to neutralize these guys. Montgomery had a great week 1 and Jahmyr Gibbs had a decent week 1. Not a fantastic one. And then of course, Jahmyr Gibbs has the great week 1, and then David Montgomery kind of slides in week 2. Maybe this is the week where both of them kind of disappear. Or at least the Cardinals are going to need that, because if we don't stop that run, we are screwed. And speaking of screwed, we're going to have to get home to the quarterback. This is a fantastic offensive line that the Detroit Lions have, so I am a little worried that Dennis Gardeck and Zaven Collins won't have the same production or the same outing that we did against the Rams, because in my opinion, this is a top 6 offensive line in the league. One of the best. If we allow Jared Goff to sit back and be comfortable in that pocket, I promise you he will dissect us crazily. And then also somebody that I do want to talk about too that could be a dangerous threat, because no one knows if Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to play, is Jameson Williams. That guy is somebody I wanted the Cardinals to take so bad back in, what, 2022? I think he's a fantastic talent, a freaking speedster. Dude is fast as balls. He's putting together a pretty solid season. So if Amon-Ra St. Brown isn't playing, which we don't know, I mean, that's wide receiver 1. We're going to have to figure out how to neutralize him. And thankfully, our corners have been playing solid. So I am a little optimistic on that front. And speaking of Amon-Ra St. Brown, he left the Lions game on the final series with cramping and a lower leg injury that Dan Campbell termed a soft tissue injury. He said he'll be fine, but I'm not sure he's going to be a go for this week. I know typically he doesn't miss a lot of games. Dude is kind of superhuman, but I don't know. If he does play, he's not going to be 100%, so I'm not insanely worried about it. I think it is in their best interest to rest him for at least a week. Knowing Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's going to want to play, so if he does play in week 3, I'm not going to be surprised. And just looking at the Lions as a whole unit, like, they are dangerous. It's crazy because 3 years ago, they were terrible. And they still beat us. This isn't the same Cardinals team. This isn't the same Lions team. So we're here for a legitimate battle, because the Cardinals, like I said, had that very impressive outing. That's a big thanks to this guy right here, Kyler freaking Murray. He totaled 5 carries for 59 yards, was evading everybody all day, making ridiculous play after play. If you guys want to check out, I have a video breaking down some of his highlight plays. The dude is ridiculous, and he had a perfect passer rating with a 98.3 QBR, 81% completion percent, 266 yards, and 3 passing touchdowns. Tyler had a day. And a big reason to why he had such a good day is thanks to the number 4 overall pick getting active early on. He had 2 touchdowns. Again, I broke down his film as well. It's in the same video if you guys want to check that out. He had 4 receptions, 130 yards. He did this all in the first quarter. Just absolutely ridiculous. Marvin Harrison Jr. has arrived, and this was all complimented. Thank you to Mr. James Conner himself, averaging 5.8 yards a pop, 122 rushing yards, 21 attempts, and a tutty. James Conner was having his way as well, and we need this as the Cardinals are a very run-first team, and Kyler Murray is able to get active on the ground. So is James Conner. We almost totaled 200 total rushing yards last game, and almost 300 passing. Like, absolutely ridiculous outing by this Cardinals offense. And like I said, we got to show some love to the defense, because Budda Baker and Dennis Gardeck balled out. We mentioned Dennis Gardeck in his 3 sacks early on, but Budda Baker was a heat-seeking missile. He showed up. 8 tackles and an impressive 8 they were. He stopped a 4th down completion. I broke this down. And then he also had that ridiculous play on the goal line where he literally locked onto the running back. They were in man and he stopped it on impact of the catch. Budda Baker is ridiculous, man. And I mean, these 8 tackles and 1 pass defenses, they might not look like much, but Budda Baker was everywhere on the field and he was shutting things down. And speaking of shutting things down, you guys might not have thought I was gonna mention this, but Aidan freaking Hutchinson, we haven't even touched up on the Detroit Lions defense. 4.5 sacks and a forced fumble in a game. They lost, but he was balling out. Probably the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Budda Baker is probably going to be in the running, but this guy right here deserves it all. Dude is unguardable when it comes to getting to the quarterback. There's not much you could do. One of the best pass rushers in the league and just best players on the defensive side of the ball. It's crazy how much talent the Detroit Lions really have. And the Cardinals are going to have to figure out a way to stop him, because our O-line, I would say, is top 13 in the league. I think we are pretty solid, maybe top 15. We have guys playing really solid this season. Will Hernandez, Paris Johnson, Jonah Williams unfortunately is not here. Kelvin Beachum played a very solid game. Evan Brown has been good for us, and Froholt has been a massive surprise, and I think he's one of the best centers in the league, probably top 12. Just a huge surprise there, and the Cardinals as a unit look pretty solid, but they have a real test against the Detroit Lions, and I am a little terrified. I think we have a chance in this one though, and I think offensively, I think this might be a little bit of a lower scoring game than it was last week, obviously for the Cardinals, but I think it's just going to be a low scoring game in general. I think both teams have a legitimate chance in this, and I do want to be a little unbiased here. I do think the Cardinals have a legit shot in this one. Like, if I had to guess, I would say the Cardinals walk away winning this like 24-21. I could easily see Detroit winning this, but like, I'm gonna rock with the Cardinals all the way, and I have genuine optimism in this team, and I genuinely believe that we are gonna win this game. I think both of these teams are fantastic, and I mean, this is a true test for the Cardinals, so if we win this game, I mean, my high horse is going to be through the roof. There's nothing you could tell me, but if we lose, I mean, maybe I'll humble up a little bit. Who knows at the end of the day? I think the Lions are a fantastic team. I could see this game going either way. Let me know your predictions down in the comment section below, but with that being said, that is going to wrap up today's video, man. Let me know your impact player of the week as well. I think for the Cardinals, it's probably going to be Michael Wilson. Marvin Harrison's probably going to get a lot of attention as he did in week 1 against Buffalo, and they saw what happened in week 2 when they played him the way they're not supposed to. So Michael Wilson, we need you to have a big day, and we need you to win your one-on-one matchups. We need you to honestly probably have 60+ yards and maybe even a touchdown. It's a little out of left field. You'd think I'd pick James Conner or Marvin Harrison just because they're the big time player, but I think it needs to be Michael Wilson this game. For the things that I think the Cardinals are going to have to do in order to win this is because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are basically shut out. Rashad White had 10 carries for 18 yards, and Bucky Irving had 7 carries for 22. They had no run game, and Baker was 12 for 19, 185 yards with a touchdown and an interception. I don't think the Cardinals are as fortunate as Tampa is. I don't think our defense is on that level. Like I said, I think we're bottom 20 to 25, so we're going to have to do a lot better than Tampa did offensively, or we're going to be in trouble. Kyler Murray's yet to throw a pick, so I think turnovers are going to continue to be a very crucial part. I think the Cardinals need to play turnover-free ball. If we do that, I think we're going to have a really good shot at this. And then again, that's probably going to be one of the biggest factors is turnover-free football. And flipping it to the other side, there were 2 people who had monster games. Aidan Hutchinson and then Dennis Gardeck. They had 3 sacks and 4.5. The O-line is going to have to block their butts off. You're going to need pressure off your quarterback, and you got to give them time. That goes for both teams. So whatever team can actually allow their quarterback to have time, that is going to be very crucial into this game as well. And I think these 2 things, if either team do it, they're probably going to have a good chance at winning. Let me know your biggest keys and points into this game, what you think each team needs to do in order to win. With that being said, that is going to wrap up today's video, man. If you guys did enjoy, consider hitting that subscribe button. I post Arizona Cardinals and NFL related content, so if you're a fan of either of those, this is the perfect channel for you. But like I said, that is all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Mythic. Peace out.